Please don't stop the segment.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Just Add Water Instant Classic. My name's Mike.
My name's Mike D.
And I'm Mike Wendy's.
And so it's been nice to have us all together again. It's been like a week and a half since our last show.
I missed you.
I missed you too.
Almost a fortnight.
Some might say 4 and too long ago.
Yeah.
But we're back and better than ever.
So we're going to get started off on a concept restaurant segment. And this is one that kind of just randomly thought of a little while ago. But the premise is, it'd be great for cities specifically. It'd be a seafood restaurant where you walk inside and like the entire right of the restaurant is like a creek with fish swimming around in it. And then you would go there and actually fish for your own meal and then bring it over to where the cooks are, and they would cook it for you, fry it, or whatever you wanted to do. And then you go sit down and eat it. So it'd be like really great for people in the city who like to fish but don't really ever have a chance to. People who enjoy actually knowing where their stuff comes from. Because ideally these would be like actual fish, not like mutant chickens from KFC or whatever.
Fish farm fish.
Like you'd have actual fish. Maybe not for the weak at heart.
Yeah.
But some people might like it. What do you guys think about that?
It's Mike D was saying it's sort of a playoff of the idea of farm to table, which is kind of baloney to me because you don't see the farm, you just see the table. Everyone else does everything in between. So this is the more manly, real life version of farm to table. Mike, if you wanted to expand on that.
Yeah, the farm to table thing, the most exposure I've had to that is probably from Portlandia, where they have a really funny segment where the Armisen and I forget her name, Carrie, they're at a restaurant and they start inquiring about the animal and where it was from and everything, and they want to know what the animal's name was and how it was raised, and they want to visit the farm. And so it's a whole joke about how this hipster or organic movement wants to really know where the food's coming from, which is interesting because it's still, I agree with Mike here that you're still just at the table and you still don't really know if any of that's true, because a lot of times people will slap like organic on or farm raised or free range,
cage free.
Yeah, and there's no, I don't think there's any real accountability anywhere in the whole chain to see if that's true or not. Like maybe you can say free range if they get like whatever 8 square feet of space or something, right? Like maybe I have no idea what the rules are on putting names like that on, but it's probably a lot worse. When you hear free range, you think, oh, it lives outside and has a great life, but it's probably a lot worse than that. Mm-hmm. But it's nice, like it makes you feel good to hear free range.
And so backing off of sort of one of the segments we had last week about the workout workplace, where we were talking about the coffee, having to grind the coffee and make it and churn the milk and butter and all that stuff. This is really seeing what you're eating is coming from, and then not to discourage you from eating meat or anything like that, but really making you work for what you're doing. So fishing is a very easy way. Everyone knows how to fish. You can fish, and then
nets for kids.
Nets for kids too. And it was
nets
more
for kids, man. You guppy pond.
Yeah. But not just catching the fish, because that's like a cool thing to do for people who like to fish, but it has to go one step further than that. You would also have to chop the head off.
Okay, so this is actually, I don't know that you would have to, but that's one path you could go down, which is pretty morbid, is making it not only about understanding where the food's coming from, but then also putting accountability on the person consuming it. So basically the opposite of these fish farms and slaughterhouses and stuff like that are pretty crazy and unsustainable and basically torturing animals. Just like making you be part of the process could be kind of crazy. I don't really know. I don't think anyone would go to that, and I think maybe actually some animal rights groups would get behind that as like a publicity stunt or something, like fake that to make people feel really bad about what they do. but as a restaurant, probably wouldn't make money. Definitely not $1 billion idea. Or you could make it the really like fun and friendly outdoor thing where I'm imagining like a Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, exactly.
Type
That's
setup.
what I was thinking, like Bass Pro Shop, except it's just a restaurant.
But
you
yeah,
didn't have
restaurant.
you didn't have the gory head chop off vision like I did. Okay.
No, with like, and Billy Big Mouth Bass is maybe the hostess or something like that. Like
you
I could
walk
see,
in and starts talking
Yeah.
to you. Hey, how many people are in your table?
I think like I could see the fun, like family atmosphere.
How far do you think this idea could get pushed? Like, could it get to a point where you walk in and it's just like woods and there's deer that you have to find? And it's like it's like a coat rack and you just put your coat and then take a shotgun off of it.
I think people do that kind of.
In real life, like
Yeah, well-
outside, but what do you think about like if you were just on the block in New York City and you just walked into a place that was like
Think about all those
hunting
fishing.
range?
Hunting and fishing.
I think that's why I think the fishing thing would actually you could possibly conceivably do this idea in a city. You couldn't possibly you need so much space for the deer and stuff.
Think about all those fishing enthusiasts who love going on fish trips and like doing the scaling and the skinning and stuff, and then cooking it afterwards. This is the same thing for people in the city who can't do that. Obviously, it's a little cheekier because it's, the fish are already there and you can, probably see them.
Right.
But I think you'd have a big group of outdoorsy people who love to fish and would like to get a little bit more in the process.
Yeah.
Make
What
some more
about
money.
this though? What about the fit? What about not being able to catch a fish? So you go to the restaurant, you get a reservation, the place is booked solid. Everybody's going here. It's the hottest place. Jay-Z and Beyonce were there the night before you. That's the sign of a restaurant being in. It's like, oh, Jay-Z and Beyonce were here last week.
Yeah.
So that's Boston Mike's Fish to Mouth restaurant. It's killing it. You go, you can't catch a fish. You just can't.
Yeah,
Because
you
I don't think you
have
can
to go.
guarantee that they're going to catch.
No, for kids, though, they'll help you out.
For kids, you could probably have like a little
Kiddie pool.
You could have like a little kiddie pool with fish sticks in it, not actual fish, and then they like scoop out the fish sticks and then they throw them in the deep fryer. That could be nice. But what if someone comes and they don't catch fish? Like, what do they do? Do they pay?
I think you could have. I think you would. So I was just thinking of price. If there's different type of fish, do you pay just to use a fishing rod and you get one fish per chart, or do you get charged depending on the type of fish that you
Or
get?
can you throw back?
Or can you throw back?
But is
That's
that-
another question.
I've always wondered
These
that.
are all really solid
Yeah,
questions.
if it's a mangy piece or a fish that you don't like.
Yeah.
Will they throw in some B-level bonefish to mess with people?
I would think that you would do.
I would prefix.
I think it would be like a limit on the time. Like if you haven't caught anything for half an hour or 40 minutes or something, whatever a reasonable amount of time, because you can't have everybody who walks in immediately catch a fish and then clog up the fry laters and stuff.
But
And it's part of it is the process. You would go to this place knowing it's going to take longer than a normal restaurant would
Yeah,
take.
I agree.
But would you put also hilarious things in a boot in?
Yeah, definitely.
There had to be
An
some
old tire.
element.
And you actually got to eat it and chew on it.
Or you get the boot and they immediately come over to you and be like, oh, you have to leave now. Or you want us to fry that boot or bake it? That would be
the Just Add Water spin, is that there's just random garbage floating around, and as soon as you catch one thing, that's what you get. You're stuck with it. So even if there's
Some
an
is,
eel in there,
or
some people like eel. I guess,
delicious, exotic, really rare tuna, or just a goldfish.
there should be one swordfish
Yeah.
in there, one really expensive fish that you just happen to
that you could
hit the jackpot.
have most delicious
Like
fish
it costs the
imported.
same
Like a
as
feast,
any
like a
of the other
10-person
fish.
feast. Just
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a couple, for two though.
Just for the $80 payment.
That'd be
Yeah.
so funny. When you get there, would you go sit? Would you fish from your table, or would you sit at your table and then go to the different area, or would the
Different
tables
area.
be set up throughout this creek?
I think it would be
system?
the entire right side is the creek with benches and little shrubs and stuff, and then the back left is where it's all cooked, and the front left is where everyone sits.
Or what about
That was just what I had in my head.
What about Benihana style, where you or one of the chefs could cook it? Actually, I think this would be cool.
A concept within a concept.
Having the guy, if you're not grossed out by it, because you guys have seen fish get prepared, they skin it.
Yeah.
It's not gross, but they just do it in front of you and then they actually cook it right in front of you. I think that would be an actually genuine experience people would like. But I like the other concept of messing with them. College night, fish sticks only, and like
Old PBR cans floating around.
Yeah, I think people would get behind that. I actually went to a restaurant in Vegas that was you couldn't fish there, but they flew. This place was in Las Vegas, and they flew the fish over. I think every day, maybe every other day, from the Mediterranean.
Really?
And it was one of the nicer restaurants out there. It was phenomenal, but I think there's something to that like freshness level that people really want. They want something that was alive very recently because it tastes better.
Right.
So that is fish to mouth, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with our parameters for investment. You're welcome to take the idea, and what is it? We get 90%.
Boston Mike for this one gets 90%.
You guys each get
2%.
2% combined.
And if you invest $100,000, I guess you can have the rest.
And then we'll bring it on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And pitch it to them. And Mark Cuban's in.
Oh, he would be in on this for sure.
I don't want.
He wants one in Dallas. He wants one attached to the stadium.
Yeah, he does.
Would you want to deal with Mark Cuban though?
If he's gonna give me millions of dollars, I would deal with Mark Cuban.
I'd rather deal with our next segment.
Ooh. Segway. Get off that Segway.
Whoa,
that you're riding.
careful.
Man, dude, I finally found a good use for that Segway that came out all those years ago, dude.
Better take your helmet off with this Segway. Anyway.
Oh.
Alright. But now it's time for our
That was horrible.
Mike advice.
Bovice.
segment. This week on Mike Advice Bovice segment, presented by our co-guest from last week's speaker, Matty P. He suggested out of the woodwork,
Matty P.
how do you deal with the hot intern at the office?
Wah, wah.
Boing.
What?
Ow! Ow!
We need a
We
soundboard
got a
so
sound. No,
bad.
we have a soundboard.
That was the soundboard.
That was the
Oh,
human
sorry, hit the
soundboard.
squash carrots.
Oh.
So this is it.
Stop hitting the squash carrots button. Oh God.
I don't work in a traditional office. I actually don't really work in any office anymore. But this is fascinating to me because it's this weird
Concept.
it's this weird interaction where
Restaurants.
you have your professional relationships and your personal relationships, and sometimes they mix. But mixing a personal friendship and a professional friendship, whatever that means, is kind of normal. They're like the same thing. But then romance is a whole different game. So if you like having a personal romance at the office just crosses some lines that people don't think should be crossed. So I'm fascinated to hear what you think about how do you manage this. Do you have to wait until the internship's over? Can you ever
Is this
try to
just
date them?
internship or coworkers?
or just coworker?
I had two coworkers at work that it actually was fine to me. It was, and to the rest of the office, it was.
Well,
nice.
Two of them dated.
Yeah, I didn't know after like a while that they were dating, but like it was they were young and it was normal, so it worked out for me. But intern, I think we should keep away the coworkers up. I'm talking about intern. You know, this is a hot babe intern that's there for max 6 weeks, 10 weeks. How do you deal with that scenario in a Just Sidewater Instant Classic type way?
I have a certain comparison that could be drawn to this.
Please draw us a picture.
New student orientation at Georgetown University
Full of babes.
for the freshmen, right? The policy
Fresh
of
meat,
the
dude.
policy of the upperclassmen who are running like groups was after orientation ends, you have to wait 2 weeks. That was just like the rule of thumb if you're gonna try to date one of the freshmen.
Date or like just invite like for in Miami it was like, oh, I'm gonna be the orientation leader, so like I can invite all the new fresh meat to the parties. That's what it was like at Miami. I guess Georgetown was a little more conservative.
Yeah. I mean, I never did new student orientation, but I know that was like the rule of thumb. I don't know. I honestly think if it's an intern specifically, I'm assuming that the age gap here is like you're like just out of college and they're like a junior or senior in college.
What's the max?
Something like
2 years age difference.
something,
right?
yeah, like at most like 3 or 4.
Damn it. Okay. But
But so I'm saying, going off that, I feel like it can't be while the internship's going on. That's what I personally would think. I would think you have to stay in touch with them enough that like it, because I think that would just be really inappropriate. Probably.
A lot of kids come, at least in New York, come to New York for internships and then they're gone. So how would you do that?
That's up to you, man.
I'm being more of a romantic here, but like I'm going like, would you date them as opposed to like one night drunken happy hour going
with the
back
with
the
well, easy on the soundboard.
Sorry. With the coworkers. I feel like that would be inappropriate.
But what about...
But that's just my personal...
What if you kept it under wraps?
If no one knows, then like it's between you and the man
what
upstairs.
they don't know, don't hurt them, dude.
Yeah, if they don't... Yeah. Oh, if ever... I think there'd be no situation in which like everyone knows about it, it would be acceptable. I feel like it would be generally not acceptable.
You probably, yeah.
For an intern specifically, intern to actual worker.
And people at
within
the office
intern
know about
or within coworkers, I think is fine.
Yeah.
With people knowing at the office, I feel like it would be tough for everyone to know it was going on, and it'd be okay.
But
But that's just me. I mean, like I also am. I have.
You also are a very good, upstanding citizen, and you are one of the best boyfriends that I've ever seen in action.
Come on, man.
Okay, last weekend, you did something that was magical. And I want you to share with everybody else. Basically, this is the playbook to being a great boyfriend. This one day, specifically.
Drunk in love.
Okay, so my girlfriend's name's Hillary. You guys both know her.
Or H-Dog.
Or H-Dog, Hill Dog, Hill, whatever you want to call her. Be nice. So for our first Valentine's Day, which was like 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, whatever, her gift to me was Boston Mike Day. And we got to do stuff that she wouldn't normally have like wanted to do otherwise, but did anyway. We went to like nice restaurants. We went to mini golf in a bar, which was fun. We went to like walk around
Can I stop you for a second? There was mini golf inside of a bar?
Yeah, H Street Country Club, I think is the name of it, in DC.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was pretty great. We watched both a Celtics game and the Hobbit, which was really fun. It was just a great day.
You decided to pay it back, or what?
Yeah, so I was like thinking a few weeks ago, and I was just like, man, I never like did a Hillary Day. Like, I got her other stuff. It's not like I totally ignored her.
You did get her some good presents that year. I remember that.
Yeah, shut your mouth.
Did you pick the Boston Mike activities, or did she just like surprise?
Planned it
okay,
and
that's
surprised.
awesome.
But it was right up your alley, though.
Yeah.
Right, clearly.
Which that takes skill.
It definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an awesome day. And so I decided to one-up her pretty hard by doing Hillary Day.
How hard?
So this is the day. Hillary loves pancakes. First thing we do, get up early, go to Clinton Street Bakery, Lower East Side. Apparently the best pancakes in Manhattan. Get in line early. It opens at 9, but it's always packed. Get there. She gets blueberry pancakes. I get like some biscuit sandwich. Oh, soft to the touch, breaks apart. Ooh, cloudy. That was great. Moved on to shopping in Soho for like just a little bit because she loves that. We pretty much only went to Madewell and just like kind of walked around a little bit because she loves Madewell. She got a couple sweaters. Are you pointing at me?
Yeah. Oh, not the one you're wearing?
Oh, no. This is just this is from the Gap.
It's J. Crew.
It's a J. Crew sweater.
But then, so after that, we went to a bring your own beer paint class for an hour, which Hillary likes both being creative and drinking, so that was pretty great. My picture was way worse than hers, despite what she'll tell you, but it was really a lot of fun. Our teacher was like Irish Zooey Deschanel. She looked just like Zooey Deschanel. She's just from Ireland. But that was fun. Went back to the apartment to drop off the paintings, prepare a picnic for Central Park, which I made grilled cheese myself.
I hope you're
Didn't
taking
get any
notes
help.
at home. I hope you're taking notes.
From there, we walked to the High Line, that awesome park in the Lower West Side. Is that a place? I don't know.
Yeah.
In Chelsea-ish. and it's like this elevated park that was once an old train track, and it was really nice. Stopped in like a little bookstore, a little coffee shop.
Had you planned every single part of this? Like up
Not
until
the
now?
coffee shop, but
Okay.
yeah.
But
The
yeah.
bookstore, I was like, oh, she would think this bookstore is cool because she likes reading and likes, all like cool old bookstore stuff. Then went to a speakeasy before dinner, which was called Rain's Law Room, which was 17th and maybe 8th or 9th or something. And it was cool, kind of like you had to ring a doorbell, and the butler like opened the door and was very creepy, and then like let you in and stuff. But it was really fun. They have a garden out back that we just kind of hung out at, and waited for dinner time, which we took the train and went over to Brooklyn to Henry's End, which you have to go if you need a really good. Like it's somewhat expensive. Like entrees are probably like $18 to $25 for just the entree. But like want a really good date spot. They don't take reservations for parties of 2, but it is really, really good. Really, really intimate setting. The restaurant's not very big, but that's kind of what's nice about it. Nice wine selection. Not that I drink wine.
Did you have to wait in line to get it?
We didn't wait for very long, probably like 20 minutes. And we kind of were going there knowing that it was going to take a while, so it wasn't a big deal. Then we went to Nick Devane's bar, Norman's Cay, at the end of the night. Met up with some of these idiots.
Did some dancing.
Did some fun dancing, drank a little beer, went home. That was Hillary Day. Thanks,
That
guys.
was amazing.
That's
It was
beautiful, man.
it was super, super fun. Even though like I'm not crazy about stuff like the High Line because it's really high up, and I'm
And
not
the shopping.
crazy about shopping, and I'm not crazy about
Sweaters.
speakeasies per se, and I'm not crazy about painting because I'm not good at it. It was like super fun. All of it was, which is cheesy to say, and I'm not just saying that because she might in theory listen to this.
In theory, okay.
Speaking of theories and speaking about speakeasies,
Yeah, what do you think about that?
well, we have two opposing point of views. Mike, would you like to start us off on our final segment about your point of view on speakeasies in New York City?
Me? Well, I've never been to one.
Oh, okay.
My point of view would be, though, that it could be a cool, just as any bar here kind of has to have a shtick in some way to stand out, because there's a bar, like anybody can get a liquor license. There's a bar on every corner, on every block. I think a speakeasy, that could be a good enough shtick. Like it could be a cool setting, walking in, having the phone, like doing the phone thing to get in. That could be cool for like an interesting place and a good icebreaker to go with someone. I think it's an option.
As much as I love icebreakers, I would have to be a little bit anti-speakeasy. Again, I have never been, so I cannot speak fully, but I think they're a little cheesy in the fact that a speakeasy is something that not the whole world knows about, and with the internet and Yelp, you can Google or Yelp speakeasies in whatever area you want, and there'll be instructions from someone saying exactly how to do it, and I think it sort of takes away
Like
from
that undermines it completely.
Yeah. I think you can call it a speakeasy because you can't just walk in. But the idea of a speakeasy is supposed to be secretive. You're not supposed to know, prohibition. I think it's sort of taken away a little bit.
But it's tough. It's kind of a catch-22 because then you're not going to get business if people don't know about it, and you're not going to be open if you don't have a Yelp review.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was really fun. Would I go to one like all the time? Definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely like a nice, interesting like thing to try. Just that I had never done before.
It's a change of pace.
So I'm saying if either of you want a fun day, do this day. Buy the book. I have the itinerary written up on Microsoft Excel.
Okay.
Is it certified?
It's certified. It was really fun. Hillary will tell you that it was very fun.
I'm in. I'm going to try and do it someday.
Even just you two could do it together.
A Mike and
A
Mike.
bromance.
And I might come actually now because I don't
Third-
want to be left out.
Oh, third wheel
Matty
in it.
P's in for sure.
No, he's not. That brings us to pick of the Mike pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
We're gonna recommend Bo Burnham's stand-up special. What?
What?
It's on what? It's on YouTube.
Netflix,
For
too.
free.
It's on Netflix. It's free. It's really funny. It's a lot of songs. Check it out.
Check it out. And that's about all the time we have. We didn't get a chance. Next week we will talk about how supporting the USA national soccer team in the World Cup is actually helping and supporting financially Westboro Baptist Church. We didn't have time. We'll talk about that next. I am Mike Wendy's signing off.
Mike D signing off.
Boston Mike signing off.